A bit complicated, but here to tell us what we need to know is consumer expert Helen Dudney. Thank you so much for joining us, Helen. Explain what's happening here then. If the energy cap is coming down, why won't we necessarily be seeing a reduction in what we pay each month?
Well, it's looking like it's about £426 for the average household, if you can see whatever average is. But we are going to sort of lose in a way because we're getting £400. We were getting £400 from the government, which was about £66 a month. So if we were getting £400 to help with the bills, but the bills reducing 426, but we're not getting that 400, then it's cancelling out.
Some people will be concerned about this. They might have thought it was all good news on the face of things, but actually it might not necessarily be that good. So what can people do now?
Well, it's just keep an eye on things, really. If you are thinking that you're going to go into debt or have trouble carrying on paying those bills, it's really important to notify your energy provider, say that you are having difficulty, because they have to help you. There might be grants, there might be funds that they have to help you. They will also have to provide a payment plan for you and do everything they can to help you, particularly if you're vulnerable. Go to organisations like Citizens Advice and Step Change and National Deadline, who will help you to budget and prioritise bills and try and help you before you get into debt. And we have to hope that these prices come down. It is predicted that we will get another drop in October, with maybe a slight rise again in January. Okay. So just to keep an eye on everything, really. We hope that things might come back to being able to switch, but at the moment, we just don't know.
Yeah, there hasn't been much in the way of competition recently. Will we be able to shop around a little bit more in the future? And what's your advice on that?
Well, that's what we hope, is that when it actually happens in July, on the 1st of July, that we might start to see some fixed rates coming in, and it might be okay to look. And you can find some calculators online when that happens to see if there is anything. At the moment, there isn't, because everybody's charging as much as they are allowed to. But hopefully, if that starts to drop, it's the summer, people are hopefully using a little bit less energy. We might start to see a little bit of competition creep in, which of course will help.
And if that does indeed happen, what do we do then? Is it best to go for a fixed rate, a variable rate? There's so many choices out there. Do we have any idea what is the best right now?
Well, at the moment, you can't sort of switch. It just isn't worth it. Most of us are on the standard tariff, which will be the same across the board. But it will be a case of looking at what's right for you, what you think the market might be doing. It is a lot of crystal ball, gazing at the moment. But come July, when we start to see it, things will creep in very slowly. So we'll start to see if there is some competition going. It won't suddenly all be let's have a whole lot to compare. It will be a small amount, so that it'll have to be a case of judging to see what's out there and who we think is the best. It might be the best for going who's got the best customer service.
And have we all got to come to, I guess, to the realisation that things are never going to go back to what they were like before the war in Ukraine?
I think, well, at the moment, the energy consultancy firm Cornwall Insight predicts that we're not actually going to go back to pre-2021 prices until 2030. They have reduced. It's the lowest it's been since May last year, but we're still, far away from pre-2021 prices. So I think, it depends what happens in Ukraine. It depends what happens to the wholesale prices. At the moment, they're dropping. But, without that crystal ball, we're not going to know just how far it's going to go.
Helen, thank you so much for joining us on The Nine this evening. That was Helen Dudney, Consumer Affairs expert there. Thank you very much.